Hello and welcome to Quell. In this video, we aim to explore a collection of old and new videos focusing on the crucial topic of personal safety when socializing. As we navigate the risks of social interactions, it becomes increasingly vital to prioritize our well-being and security. In these videos you will see the risks of spiking and also the importance of knowing what to ask for Angela is in both the professional and personal.
Hello, my name's Will. And what I do is I talk a lot about staff safety. Now, over the past few months, I've been working a lot with hospitality and hotels, and we've been talking a lot about risks that staff face. Now, one of the conversations I had recently with attendees was that we talked a lot about spiking of drinks. Now, I showed them a video and talked to them about a video that I did about a month ago on spiking of drinks, and that was from the organisational point of view. But what the question was from a personal safety point, and that's themselves, which I thought was really good. And what they were saying was, well, what do they do if they come across what they interpret or think that they could have possibly been spiked? Well, firstly, I started off and I spoke about what to look for in the drink. So, for instance, the drink, is it, shall we say, has the taste changed? Is it cloudy? Is it bubbling? Is there some form of cloudy look to it, in a sense? Is the ice melting quickly? Or is this something just not right? I always say to people, never take chances. If it doesn't feel right, generally it's not. Then we moved on to the effects of it, and what I tried to explain was there's so many different effects. I've talked to people over the years about this, where they've been hot, they've been cold, they've been sweating, they've become very anxious or very afraid or very lethargic, or even had one that spoke to me once and said they became very really aggressive. Their bones are hurting, their feet were sore, they had pains in their neck, the hearing started to like a high buzzing pitch sound as well. So there was all these things. So the list is unbelievable. But what I said to him as well was, well, if you do feel like that, the first thing you should do is react. And what I mean is you should tell somebody you don't feel right. You feel, shall we say, very lethargic, or you feel not in control, or your emotions are changing rapidly. I then say to him, don't always rely that you're probably intoxicated on alcohol. Okay, don't think to yourself, well, I've been taking, say, for instance, 5 or 6 drinks, and out of that, that's what's made me feel like this. I also say keep the drink, take that to the bar and tell somebody at the bar. Inform them that, wow, you know what I mean, you've possibly been, shall we say, drugged. And I also say, if you can remember, use the code word Angela. Angela's been around for years. Anyone in the hospitality and nighttime economy know about the word Angela, and it's like one of these codes that we give to security staff, door staff, or we give to bar staff, that the person is in distress and needs assistance, or they're concerned about something. I then say try and drink water, because that flushes the system. If you still feel that way and you still feel unsure, don't hesitate, get medical attention. Ring 999 or get the friend or whoever's with you, ring them to get 999. If you actually use the code word Angela to the bar staff or the staff of the hotel, I can assure you now, if they're professionals, they'll react. They'll secure the drink. They will obviously get the CCTV footage. They will try their best to get statements of people that were with you. They'll inform the police, and they will then try and, shall we say, get enough evidence together so that the police can actually hopefully track down the individual. We won't call them anything, because disgusting what they've done. The individual that's done this, and you might be part of that process to catch the person that's done it. It's the same as when I was talking to somebody the other day about spiking, and like I said, it's a topical subject, and I think it's because we're possibly coming into some form of new routine. And I was talking to someone there where they said that they believe that they were stabbed with a needle, the needle into their thigh, and they went through all these emotions and feelings and frustrations and scaredness and all this lot. And that's what I say to people. If you think that you have had some form of drug or substance given to you unwittingly or unknowingly, react to it. Remember the basics I said at the beginning. Obviously, keep an eye on your drink. That's simple. You always keep an eye on your drink. If you see any discoloration, you see any cloudiness, you see any bubbles, you see that the ice is melting quickly, or it just doesn't taste right, immediately take to the bar and speak to somebody. If you start to feel unconscious or sick or disorientated, or your emotions are going, shall we say, flittering between emotional to rational to hyperactive to crying to laughing, and you just can't work it out, do not take chances. Speak to someone straight away and tell them you think that you've possibly been under the influence of something. Hello and welcome to Quell. As always, this video is a bit unusual for us because we concentrate on staff safety, but it does boundary a lot around even your own personal safety when away from work. About a week ago, an attendee on one of my courses came to see me, and what she wanted to talk about was her son, who was at a festival, and he shared a vape, and it was spiked, and or duped into taking it. And the conversation was quite good because we were talking about, well, why would you use somebody else's vape, and why would people vapor and all this kind of stuff. And it was all about, well, the risk of taking something off a stranger. Like, they knew I did a video some months back on spiking, and that's where I came, and other videos of Ask Angela, and I know that people think it's a bit common sense, but I'm afraid, okay, and the alcohol. There was even the story recently to do with the paramedic in the Isle of Wight that took somebody else's vape because they said, do you want to taste it? And unfortunately they became, what they stated, not me, like paralysed feelings, and they couldn't move, and they were then becoming shock and stress. But again, if you want to read the story, I'm sure you'll find it on Google easy enough, and I'm glad to see that she's okay. But the problem is that we've got to look at these things more of a personal safety issue as well. I know it's easy to say, do people know where you are? But what I'd like to say is, do you know what to do if you start to feel the effects of something, the dizziness, the dry mouth, the not understanding what people are saying, or becoming very, very emotional. It was interesting in a lot of the articles I've been reading about this, because back in 2022 they did a bit of a survey, and they found out that something like 3% of people they talked to said they knew somebody that had been spiked through the vapor. Or vaping. And it's one of those things that I try to say to people, look, we can never predict what's going to happen, but we can be aware of our surroundings. I know people want to party, have a bit of fun, especially at festivals, even though I'm probably too old to go to festivals in my opinion now. But the thing is that we've got to be prepared sometimes. And again, it's back to that point of making sure people know where you are. Have you got the suitable app on your phone? I know what people say to me that I go on a bit too much about WalkSafe Plus, but it is a very important app to have, and Emma Kay publicises it and her team brilliantly. There is also other things you can do, like talk to your friends that you're going to be away, even add a code word that if you don't feel well, at least they'll take it serious. And then also watch out for friends. It's easy for me to say don't take any drink or vapor off anybody, but you've got to think of it like this. The only one that's going to keep you safe is you. Prevention is better than the cure, and I know I give out these sayings all the time, but they're true, because you have to look at it from my point of view. I deal a lot with where I get asked by organisations to look at incidents and analyse it in a way that, well, what can we improve? I do risk assessments, I do all that kind of stuff, and it's not nice when I come across an incident I've been asked to look at or advise on, and lo and behold, it was preventable. So it's just a little bit of a video, just a bit of information, that's all this video is. Remember, it is a risk out there, a bit like what I joked, and I made funny comments about the nitrous oxide because I said it's not a laughing matter. But this is quite a serious issue again, because if we had people in the past using tablet form and even injection to spike you, now they've moved on to vaping, whatever context they're doing it for a laugh, or the dark side, as we all know, for some form of sexual assault. Is it not worth thinking to yourself before you go out, what can I do to prevent it? But what can I do if something does happen? How do I alert others? Hello and welcome to the Quell Trading Channel. And what we do here is we talk a lot about staff safety, and in that bracket is personal safety. And what I've been asked a lot about lately, on nearly all our courses, is the term Ask for Angela. And it was interesting for me the amount of people that I have come across that are not aware of what it means. Now, Ask for Angela has many terms and there's many stories of where it's originated from. And even when you go on YouTube, you will see there's plenty of little short videos explaining how to use it, etc., etc. Ask for Angela, I was told, comes under guardian angel. That's what the L basically says it came from. And to say where it originated from would be quite hard because there's so many different stories. But what is it? That's the point. What is it? It's okay saying it comes from, but what does it actually do? Well, Ask for Angela is a term that you can use if you're out socialising. Doesn't matter, especially in hospitality, whether that's the bars, the clubs, or the restaurants, or hotels. It's a code word that you can effectively use to staff, whether that's door staff, bar staff, the waitering staff, management, receptionists, irrespective, to say that you are under some form of duress or stress. That means that you could be out on a date, might be your first date, as everyone always says, it could happen on. You've met somebody that is not what they seem. You might be out with a group of friends and you might feel very ill, or you might be detached from them, or you might actually just be in a situation where you need assistance. So the aim of it is for you to go up to the staff and say a phrase with the term Angela in it. That means, can I speak to Angela? Is Angela working? Can I possibly speak or go and speak to Angela? Doesn't matter what it is. And what's supposed to happen then, if the staff are professionally trained, is that the staff are to discreetly move you away from that area, put you in a back office or take you away from the actual area that you feel uncomfortable with, and then find out what assistance you require. Do you need a taxi, or do you need somebody called? Do you need medical assistance, or is it a serious incident that we possibly need the police? And when I try to say to people when they ask me, well, okay, when would I actually use it? The term is simple. You use it when you feel unsafe. And it doesn't matter what you are, what sex you are, doesn't matter what situation you're in or what you think might be silly. If you're at a point of where you feel totally distressed, use the term Ask for Angela. But when I talk a lot about personal safety, I always talk a lot about prevention is better than the cure. And one of the apps I try to sell that's absolutely free, I'm not involved in the company, I just think it's a brilliant app, is Walk Safe Plus. And again, if you go onto our channel and you go down, you'll see that I've done a video on it, a tutorial how to upload it onto your phone and how to use it. And I strongly recommend that because it doesn't matter who you are. If you go out to socialise in obviously the hospitality or the nighttime economy and you're involved in a situation, prevention is better than cure. And if you've got, say, something on your phone, or in the case of emergencies, I'm sure you've all heard of it, ICE, you've set your phone up, again there's videos, or you've put the app on your phone, or whatever that might be you've done, and then you also know the term of Ask for Angela, well, you've just elevated your personal safety and reduced the risk a little bit. So again, I urge you to have a think about it, have a look, think to yourself, okay, should I remember this? Shall I say, have that in my back pocket in the event of an incident? And you know I'm going to say it, prevention is better than the cure. And the only one that's going to keep you safe is you. I know one or two people will be cringing at that, but it's a fact. Hello and welcome to the Quell YouTube channel. Now what we do here, we talk a lot around staff safety. And within that bracket, anything in relation to what we would class as workplace violence. Now I did a video last week on Ask for Angela from a personal safety point of view. And I got quite a lot of views and I got quite a lot of reactions to it. And we also, as a company, got a lot of requests from organisations in the licensed trade. That was both hotels, restaurants, and even bars and clubs, asking us, okay, we're happy with the term Ask Angela, but what other steps should we be thinking about as an organisation? And it's a very easy answer for me because I've worked in licensed trade for quite some years. And I associate with a lot of the actual bars and clubs and hotels that come to us, and we work alongside them in elements to reduce workplace violence. Now, what I also say to these organisations is we should really make sure we've implemented it, i.e. the Ask for Angela, into our procedures. We should have it as part of our induction. We should be doing, like, for instance, quick refresher training every now and again, just to keep everybody on the same level on what to do. There's nothing worse than a member of public going up to a staff member, asking for Angela as the code, and then the staff not knowing what to do. I mean, you've got to remember, the code word can be used in any situation. The persons could be sat at the bar beside each other, and that individual could be the one in distress and can't get away from that person, or can't get the attention of somebody, shall we say, on their own to actually deliver the code word. So it might be done discreetly, like that member of public, customer, guest, anyone might just turn around to the staff member and say, oh, is Angela working tonight? And just by chance, the staff member might have somebody, a colleague, it is called Angela. And there could be complications. So again, we need to make sure that we put that in to some form of training and procedures. I then ask organisations to think about more, well, how do our staff react? What do they actually do? Do they tell a manager? Do they tell a colleague? How do we actually get that staff member to react safely to the point of where we're protecting that guest or customer? Where can we take that guest or customer? It's okay, I've seen the videos and I think a lot of them are very good, talking about we'll get them a taxi. We've got to get the person away from the individual first to identify what the problem is. Is it a real genuine concern? Is it a first date and the person's turned up who has not portrayed who they was before they actually physically met the person? Is there a police matter involved? What exactly is occurring? Saying getting them a taxi straight away might not be the answer. So again, I asked to say, well, okay, have we got safe areas we can take that member of public to? And the last thing I will always say is, have we reported and recorded it correctly? Have we got the evidence why someone's had to use it? We haven't just taken some member of public or that guest or that visitor and basically stuck them in a taxi and that's the end of it. Have we actually correctly recorded the details of the individual, just for personal reference? Because it's okay saying we have an idea what Ask for Angela is and we have an idea what we should do, but isn't it worth just, I don't know, taking an hour or 2 hours with your staff, doing a few little scenarios, doing a few little ideas, doing a bit of problem solving? And especially above all as well, and see if you have got the signage up in the toilets. See if you've got the signage behind the bar. Because, I'm just saying, it's okay having the signage up, but if the staff don't know what to do, just say it. So think about it. Procedures, induction, retraining of your staff, have a safe area, make sure the staff know how to act and how to report, record. They're all the things that are easy to say on a video on a small bundle, but have a think to yourself, because each venue is different from my experience. Thank you for watching. Please continue to watch our social media. Stay safe whatever you're doing, and bye for now.